Okay, guys, hopefully you've gone through 4.1 and done the algebra and you're rock solid on what inverse operations are and how to apply them. That's going to make 4.2 a whole lot easier. You might be good enough that you can do this in your head, but it's going to get to be a lot more challenging. So two-step algebra is exactly what it sounds like. There are two steps of algebra that you have to apply in order to come to the solution. You're not going to know going into a test or an assignment or whatever it is that you're working on how many steps it is unless you look at the number of operations that are in the equation. So here we have one step. And here we have a second step. And those are the two steps that we have to undo using algebra. Now, it's not a hard rule, meaning it doesn't apply every time, but generally speaking, it's best, it's almost always best, to deal with the addition and subtraction first. And the big reason is you avoid fractions. That's the big one. There are other reasons, and we will come back to that later, but for now, just don't do it. So straight up, we're just going to have a look and see, hey, we have x times 4 and we have x minus 14. Following Mr. Samborski's wonderful rules, we're going to deal with the minus 14 first. The opposite of minus 14 is plus 14. So we're going to add 14 to both sides. Hopefully our integer skills, you've been practicing those mad minutes, and we can do this without our calculator. Even Nick, and you'll realize that it's 12. 4 times x, so we divide both sides by 4, which leaves us with x equals 3. Life is good. If we look at the x divided by 6 plus 1 equals 25, again, following Mr. Samborski's wonderful advice, we'll start with the subtraction. We'll start with the addition. 1 plus 1, opposite is minus 1. Oops. And now we have x divided by 6. The opposite of divided by 6 is times by 6. Now this last one, it is a two-step question, but probably not for the reasons that you're thinking of. We have an operation here, and we have an operation here. And yeah, I'm ignoring that negative sign, the subtraction sign, and there's a reason for that. We'll see why in just a second. So it's a plus 6 in front, which means we are going to subtract 6 on both sides in order to solve. We've got multiply by negative 2, so we're going to divide both sides by negative 2. Notice though, that subtraction sign became a negative sign. I keep saying it, negative signs are subtraction signs, and subtraction signs are negative signs. Now, we're also going to introduce something called left side, right side checks. And this is the proper formatting for checking an answer. Again, these are simplistic examples. It gets harder as we move along. So we take the left side of the equation, and again, it's to the left of the equal sign. I want to see the substitution. And in this case, the right side is only negative 2. So since there's no math to do on the right side, and our answers match up, we have negative 2. Once we sub in x equals 3, and we have negative 2 on the right side, our equations are good. Now, Couple things to remember when you're looking at this stuff. First is, I want to see the substitution step, okay? Different math teachers have different expectations regarding different things, but this is one that's pretty universal. We all want to see that substitution step. Second thing is, if they're equal, then state that it equals the right side or the left side, depending on what side we're working on. Think of this like a therefore statement, okay? If you have time, check your answers before handing them in. So an assignment, you have as much time as you dedicate to it. You can check every one of your answers and make sure they're right before you hand them in. On a test, if you finish in an hour and you have 20 minutes to kill, don't just hand it in and stare out at the window thinking longingly of your bestie. Go over your test and actually make sure that your answers are correct. Everybody makes mistakes, including me. So talking about that left side, right side thing, here I said that my left side equaled blah, blah, blah math. I found out that my -2 equaled the right side of the equation. I put in equals the right side just to specify. And that's it, guys. There's today's homework.